Guider's off, yes. Yeah. Right now it is, yeah. We're only at 1 second exposure on M13. And just to show people, this is the power line that I have to go through. It's the hydro. And it's pretty well bisecting the meridian of my sky. So I got my own natural meridian here. And we have our line coming for the phones here and here. This is my side. It's windy a little, but it's calming down. You can see the movement of this tree here going. A little bit of wind. Hopefully the wall will protect me a bit. But anyways, we'll come back later to this one. We remember the glow here. Should go off soon. Okay, very good, Jack. We'll come back later on to this and we'll see if this is a little bit darker here. Just to show you what light pollution does. Okay, so we're at gain 3.5. Let me turn off the dark field. And I want to pay attention tonight to see if the dark field is actually clipping, and if it is, the controller can easily adjust the histogram. Okay. On. Off. Okay, I'm not seeing any move at all in the histogram at all. So we'll do a longer exposure later. So let me get the guider going, and I'm going to play with M13. I will try to keep up with any questions. Alright, so we're still at 1 second exposure. Right there, confirmed. And I'm just going to play a little bit with the white point. I'm just going to lower the white point a bit. And let me darken this a little bit without clipping. Alright, so that's 1 second exposure on M13. And I'm going to enable the dark field. And let me take this off, back again. And let me raise this a little bit. I'd say that's pretty nice, Jack, at 1 second exposure. The 10-inch, this is the VRC, Melicam VRC, which stands for Video Ritchie Christian Telescope. It's my best scope. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it a lot. Holds collimation really well. Not hard to focus, and it's very versatile with different cameras. You just got to make sure the collimation is good, which they usually are, directly from the from Melicam supply, and it's been a great scope. But anyways, yeah, that's 1 second. Hey Don, how are you? Hi Cliff. Okay, so let's up the exposure. Let's go for 2-3 seconds. Okay, now people were asking about interlace, if you have to keep waiting and that. Well, I find when I change the exposure just for the first frame, the first refresh, you have to wait, but after that you don't have to wait. It happens every say for example you're going 10 seconds. Well, the first one, the first 10 seconds will have the interlace lines. The second one will be de-interlace, and it will continue refreshing every 10, not 20 seconds, every 10 seconds. Put my focus column. Yeah, I'm going to be getting the collimation ring, Jack, at AstroCats. Oh, hi, Curtis. Yeah, I'm excited about getting that. Now we're just playing with this. For those wondering what filter's on tonight, so far it's the Lumicon Deep Sky. I've had it since 2000, 2001. It's an older one, but it's a good one. No, I haven't figured that out, Curtis. No time. No time. Okay, let me just disable it. Okay, that's without the dark field correction. And let's wait for another refresh. Alright, and we'll enable it. I'm just watching the histogram. No movement at all, so it's not clipping. That's good. Hi Al, how are you? Okay, so that's 3 seconds exposure. So we got it pretty good at 1 second, but I like this at 3 seconds. And I'm just going to play with this a bit. See? I'm only adjusting the histogram. Histogram right now, Jack, is at 60 on the right, and right now I just put at 5 on the left. 3 seconds. Let's go back to 1 second again. Just curious to see. Let's go back to 1 second exposure. Okay, and let me put that there. Okay, that's 1 second. Let me just play with the histogram. Yeah, just have people who just join us. Gain is at 70%, 3.5 done. And we're looking at 1 second exposure. You're very welcome. Okay, I have Lumicon UHC. How does that? Okay, first, Dwee, am I pronouncing your name correct? Is it Dwee? I hate getting names wrong. Dwee or do I? Anyways, let me answer your question. The Lumicon UHC is useless for video. Don't even use it. It's not recommended at all. The problem with the Lumicon UHC, it is a visual filter for eyepiece viewing. It is fantastic for that if you want to enhance nebulas, to pick up the to increase the contrast, to make it a higher contrast. But the problem is it only picks up the oxygen 3 and the hydrogen beta wavelengths. It does not pick up hydrogen alpha and sulfur 2. And if it doesn't pick up that, the filter is completely usable for emission type nebulas. You could actually use that nebula for some of the reflective type nebulas. You could use that for this type of viewing, globular open clusters, but for anything like galaxies and especially emission nebulas, which are very, very common, it will not work. You're better off to get the astronomic UHC, which allows the HA to enter. The reason why the Lumicon UHC does not allow HA to enter is because it's a visual filter, and the human eyes cannot detect hydrogen alpha when you're looking through an eyepiece. So they blocked it out. We can detect oxygen 3 and hydrogen beta, but HA is blocked out because we cannot detect it with our own eyes. So it does make sense to add it in a filter that's used for eyepiece viewing. So that's why they did it. Now the astronomic UHC is a visual filter, but it also can be used with excellent results for video or near real-time viewing with a camera. So you want to stick with that. Now the UHC is definitely one of the narrower type broadband filters. Like they're, it's quite narrow, a lot more narrower than the Lumicon Deep Sky or the IDIS P2 light pollution filter. So you don't really want to use the Astronomic UHC unless you have a lot of light pollution issues, like very, very high. I'm just out on the outskirts of a very large city in Canada, Toronto, and the light pollution is horrendous here. The skies are at mag. Last time I was out, Jack and I calculated it was at mag 3.5 or 6, and the Lumicon works good. Now, if you're in the center of Manhattan, then you would use the UHC, or if you're out when there's a moon that's becoming a dreadful issue, then yeah, you can go ahead and use that filter. But in most cases, try just to stick with a light pollution filter. Like the Lumicon Deep Sky is excellent. Orion makes a pretty decent one, and IDIS makes a good one. Okay, so let's go on. Coatings cost more for added. Also, quality of the Astronomic is very, very high. They make very good filters. All right, let's go back to this, and that has not changed. So it looks like nothing's going to change on that. We're clear. So let's go for an object. Let's go for something that we can test on. That's going to be nice to push it. I'm going to go for the ring. If anybody did me a favor and looked up if there was any galaxies on the east side of the meridian, if you have any ideas, please let me know. I would appreciate it. I don't see too much galaxies on the east side of the meridian, though. Let me just do this. Okay, so I have to go in sequence. I'm going to shut this guider. I don't even need guiding. Let me just take a look. No, Al, I can't go on the west side of the meridian. I have to stay on the east side. West side is this. I have to go through all this, and plus my cables are not set up. I'm not aligned on the west. I'd have to do a flip and align on the west side. I can basically go from about here, right here, to here. I can go about 2 hours past the meridian, but on this west side, downtown Toronto, you can see the sky difference between downtown Toronto here on the west and my southern sky overlooking a large lake, Lake Ontario, and the east is not too bad, but the west is dreadful, awful. Yes, it's M13, Curtis. That is correct. You're welcome, Dwee. Let me check, Jack. Let's see. Is that IC 6946? Let me see. IC 6946. Could not find object. Let me make sure I had the right one. I don't have an IC 6946. Oh, NGC. Okay. Thank you. Let me just put an NG. Oh, yeah, that's doable. That's that's a good one, Jack. Okay. Right now we're at 43 degrees, so why don't we head there? It's not that high. It's pretty low. Here, I'll show you here where it is. Right here. We're actually pointing right here now, and it's right here. So it's going to be in the northeast corner. So you can see all the galaxies here on the west side. 101 would be we could barely reach it. There's the meridian there, the line. So 101's out. So all these galaxies are all right here, starting right here and going over. So they're out of my range right now. So we'll stay here. We got lots of objects. Yeah, that's a good one. We could go there. Yeah, that one's getting low too. It's below my roof in the north. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Don, you read my mind. I'm gonna go to the Iris tonight, and I'm gonna try this filter Joe graciously bought me. Um, it is an 03 filter by Lumicon, I think it was, and I want to put that filter on the Iris tonight and try it. So thank you for reminding me. Looks like that light has gone down quite a bit, so that's not too bad there. There's a plane going through off the lake. Yeah, I think that was a light in her house or something right there. It's still there a little bit, but that's weird how it really darkened quite a bit. Okay, good. Alright, so that's unguided. So we're going to go to that galaxy. I'll show you also, Al. No, that's out of the range, unfortunately. Right here. Here's the meridian again. Okay, M82 is way over on the west, out of the range for my mount. It will have to do a flip. So they're all gone. Unfortunately, sorry. Okay, we're going to go to that galaxy Jack mentioned. It's still pretty low, but let's head to it. I should go to a star first. We'll go to this star here, just to center it. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky, Al. I got a good chunk of the sky. I can't complain. I think that's the galaxy there. Wow. I don't know. We'll try it. Might be somewhere there. Let's let it settle. There is some backlash a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, and that's when I can... Nice thing about seeing this is when I see it stop like this, I know I can turn the guider. Do a picture for the guider. Oh, I'm loving this setup. Okay. I'm not going to go to a star. I'm just going to wing it and see if it's there. All right. This should be interesting. Large face on with nice spiral arms. Okay, good. 1 second, yes. 1 second exposure. Let's take that up to 10. Let's see what happens at 10. Let's see, guider's doing fine. No, I use Maxim right here. It's my guider, Maxim DL. I had from my CCD days. Wow. Okay, I gotta lower the histogram. I don't want to get carried away. I had the histogram up high. The white point was lowered quite a bit. I have it at default now, so let me just raise it just for fun. So we're at 10 seconds, so let's see what happens. It's all trial and error. No, it's just one exposure, Al. Just the initial one, the first one is going to be, the first one's going to be like lines, and then it has to take a second, but they'll refresh every now 10 seconds. They should. So I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to play with the histogram only. It's enabled. Dark field correction is enabled. So we'll see if there's any change at 10 seconds. Maybe it is 20. We'll see. No, it's every 10 seconds. It's 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm just playing with the histogram. This is a nice one, Jack. Good call. Okay, we're going to need more exposure time. Not bad at 10 seconds, though. I'm going to show you the histogram so you see exactly what's going on. So there's the histogram, and you can see where I'm pushing the white point and the black. So we can actually move the black a little bit towards the peak. And on the next refresh, I will take off the dark field. Okay, now the next one, the dark field is removed. So let's see what it looks like. It's unbelievable picking up a galaxy in 10 seconds. Quite nice. Okay, that's with it off. Doesn't look bad. Actually, not bad at all. There's some warm pixels right here. Right here. You know, 3 of them right here. You can tell the warm pixels. Okay, and let's put it back on. And actually the histogram doesn't really go, there's no change. Oh, you want me to go wide? Okay. All right, Simon. Is that okay there? Okay. Here's correction coming off. It's off now. Don't forget, I'm really stretching the histogram. You're welcome. Okay, there it is off. Okay. And you can see the pixels. It's going to put that at 70. And I'll let it refresh one more time. It's so hard to tell if it's refreshed. Okay, I'm going to enable it again. And here we go. Let's see if it cleans it up. I like the spiral arms. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay, now if we lost any detail, we can lower the black point a couple of points. Right about there. Okay, let's see. I still see the detail on my monitor here. I don't know how it's looking on NSN. Okay, there we go. So I just lowered the black point a little bit. I went a little too far. Not bad for 10 seconds. Gain again is at 70%. 3.5 out of 5. I figured 1 is 20%, 2 is 40, 3 is 60, 4 is 80, 5 is 100. So we're at 3.5, which is 70%. Okay, let's go more exposure. Let's go to 15. Okay, so 15, I'm going to have to put this one here. I just raised the black point a little bit, and I'll lower the white. I mean, raise the white, not lower it. Raise it to about 75. So I backed off on the white a little bit and raised the, I raised both of them actually, but it sounds complicated. Raising the white makes it less strong. Okay, so let me get the white point. Now you got 15 seconds. The nice thing about waiting, it's no big deal, is you got a few seconds to play with it. Okay, I put it to 90. Let's see what happens here. older analog. I would equate the dark field correction like an amp glow mask. Yes, Al. I would say it's pretty close for the older analog. I wouldn't say older, but for the existing analog cameras, like the Extremes, Exterminators, I'd say, yeah, it's similar. The dark field correction is almost like a combination of a flat and a dark. The only thing is it will not subtract the dust bunnies because you're using the scope capped. So, yeah, amp glow mass, I'd say it's pretty close, yeah. Hi, Simon. Okay, I'm just raising the white point because it is too high. And we'll lower the black. Let me raise the black. Okay, so I went too far with the black. And that looks good about there. Okay, let's try that right about there. The problem with dark frame, not field, dark frame subtraction out with the analog video cameras is there is so many adjustments that you are doing with an analog video camera. Like you have all your video settings that you're adjusting, plus you have the camera adjustments. Then you got the AGC and everything to deal with. There's too much going on. There's too many changes that the dark cannot keep up. An actual dark is not accurate enough for all these changes. It just cannot keep up with the differences between objects that you're going to with different exposure times, etc. That's why when Bill of Miloslick and Kyle of Astrolive tried to incorporate the dark frame subtraction, it actually takes the hot and warm pixels away and replaces them with empty black space, so they look like black specks, and they don't really take care of the amp glow as good either because the amp glow varies. So it's a toughie. I think the amp glow mask is much better to use in that case. Now in this camera, there's not much amp glow. There is a tiny bit when you really start pushing it hard and long, but the dark field correction eliminates any excessive amp glow that's there, and it also lowers drastically the dark current noise, and it eliminates all the hot and warm pixels. It's wonderful because it is reading on the interlace and odd lines. It's scanning both odd and even. So it's very, very precise. So right now we're on 50%. Yeah, it looks blotchy. Hey Chris, how are you? Waterloo. Skies must be nice. Hopefully you got good skies, because your skies will be with me down the road in the near hour or two. I think it's going to work very well with the color camera. I'm hoping for good results. Okay, should we go a little bit longer? I think a little bit longer exposure might be good. Yeah, let's go 25. It's really, 25 should be ample. I think 25 should be enough, Curtis. Doesn't take much. Now I'll show you what I'm doing now. I'm basically, there's the first one. See, we have to wait for that to kick in, but that gives me an idea of where to put this. And let's put this there, because the peak should fall right about here on the next refresh. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I love this camera. It's very nice. Oh, I hope you had a good broadcast, Simon. Okay, let's see what happens. So let's look at this peak on the next refresh. The reason why there's two peaks is because it's reading the both odd and even scans. See, I had an idea that's where your peak was going to go. So to me, that looks good in the core, not bad. I think I could put that up at 150, and I'm going to raise the black point maybe about 90. Let's see how the next refresh does. Now you can really see the structure. That's looking really good. The reason I love this camera is the high dynamic range it has. As I said, I could never with my Extreme or the Exterminator in Miloslick or any other program that has a live histogram, I could never raise the white point like this. I couldn't even raise the or lower, I mean the gamma, the midpoint also. You'd get issues. So this is really, really impressive. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to take this to about 95. Should be good. I don't want to clip the data now. There was some discussion about its clipping. I don't see any clipping, and if it does, I can control this myself manually. I'm controlling my live histogram manually. All I'm basically working with is the histogram. I got the contrast, let me see, contrast at -50, gamma 1.5. I usually like leaving it around there. I could go up to -60, increase the contrast, but I think that's enough contrast. So I don't really touch that too much. I'll play with it later. Mostly I like to work with the histogram. Okay, time the next one, Don. When the next one goes through, I'm going to change it. Let me change it now. Okay. Let's wait for the next refresh, and then I'll change it again. Let's see how long it takes. Pretty sure it should only be taking 25 seconds. If anybody wants to watch their watches, keep track of time. Yeah, I could put on the, well, there's something here I'm going to look into after. Okay, that changed. Okay, start the countdown. And we'll just change this so we can get a good see. Let's see if it takes 25 seconds or 50 seconds. I think it only takes 25. I'm just keeping my eye on it. We should see a big change though, because I really adjusted this. Okay, how long did that take? 50? Wow. 50 seconds? Okay. I'm surprised 50 went that fast. Okay, I want to do this one more time, Don. Let me raise it this way so we blow it out. I should see if I can put this clock up too. Okay, somebody mentioned a hat. I don't know where that clock was again. It's not that hat. Right there. Alright. We won't have the trouble with the clock tonight. There we go, we got a clock. You know what we could do? Let's cut the exposures down so we're not wasting time. Let's do it 15 seconds. And let's see. I'm going to look at the clock here. That's why I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the clock here on my screen, but it's on the NSN. Okay, and the clock started at about 10 after. So 15 should be 33:25. Okay, so probably change at 40. Oh yeah, yeah, you know why? Because I see it as interlace right here. Okay, what we have to do is not touch this then. Let's see what the, maybe it is when you make an adjustments. Yeah, okay, let me see. Alright, let's go back to 25. Alright, let's do 30. Okay, so I'm going to wait for the next one. I think it's when I make adjustments with the histogram, but let me just see. What I could do is just turn my guider off. Yeah, maybe it was just going faster than I thought. It just didn't seem like 50 seconds. It was going really quick. Okay, I'm just going to get this correct. All right. Okay, let's see what happens here. Dark lane up to the right, left, the core. No, it looks good. Very good. And what I'll do is I'll shut the guider off. That way we'll definitely see a refresh. That is definitely a minute. Alright, now let me just shut my guider off. Because it's so accurate, I can't even see a refresh. Yeah, Rock is working on a timer. Okay, guider is off. So let me just see. I like that. That looks really, really nice. Very nice. Okay, I turned my guider off, so now we'll see a shift at least without me playing with this histogram. So pretend I'm on an Altaz unguided. It won't pick up this. If it's what are we at, 30 seconds, there'll be some trailing for sure. Okay, there's the first one. And let's see, that started, okay, say about 10:02. So we're at 10 seconds. So about 20 after, we'll see. If not, it will be past that in another 30. Because I haven't touched any of the settings. Okay, coming up. So at least we figured out something. Thank you, Don. Okay, so it should be coming up shortly. Okay, yep. Yep, you're right. Alright, let me get the guider back on. Look how much we moved. 13. 5.5 and 13. Well, I'm going to try and pull the guide star back. Yep, it is double. There we go, almost got it back. Rock would have to answer that one out. I'm not really sure. Okay, we got the guide star right back. So the next refresh will be better, but it won't be perfect until the next one. All right. Yep. Unless they use more gain. I'm at 70%, so I don't know. Hard to say, Don. Yep. A lot, yeah, and it's a lot cleaner too. The gain up full max is very, very. I'm gonna put the gain up after the full. Very clean, that full gain. I couldn't. I did. I think at one time I used 8, and it was not usable, even in the black and white jack. The black and white was good. Exterminator up to about 4. It's reasonable. It's pretty decent at 4, so about 50%. Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, it is very impressive, Don. But I see your points. Yeah, something people have to ask and to consider. Yeah, for sure. They got to have a very fast setup. Get the best tracking possible, and use higher gain. Well, I didn't find that there was much of an improvement, Al. It didn't really make, like, when I do a single image with an extreme or an exterminator, and then I do a stack, I see a big difference in signal to noise ratio. I didn't see that difference with this camera. It just didn't pop out. Actually, the clarity, the sharpness in that was robbed with the stacking. It kind of softened it a little bit. And I was using Astro Toaster. Well, you know something? We got the night. We're not going a lot of objects. We can try Astro Toaster tonight with this and stack a few. I don't mind. I just didn't see it helped. I really didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna try full gain. Exactly, Simon. It really decreased the noise so much that it was very nice. Okay, I'm going to put the gain up. Okay, we're at full gain now. Not really, Al. I don't know why people are saying that I'm losing detail in the noise reduction. You just play with your histogram. There's no reason to lose detail with the dark frame on, engaged. There's no reason to lose detail. You just have to know how to adjust the histogram. And I'll show that tonight. Last time, it was a second night out. I was distracted. NSN's not easy. You got to keep your eye on questions and then do your adjustments. It's not an easy task to do. If I'm by myself, I can do a lot better, but I'm trying. But I don't see why anybody should lose detail just by engaging dark field correction if they know how to adjust the histogram properly. See, right there now I have it up high because the histogram needs adjusting. So I'm going to go to this. We might be too much exposure. Let me see what happens. Too much exposure at full gain. No, I could do dithering if I want to, Don, but I don't do it because the problem is it's the camera, the way the camera's connected. It's let me show you here. I think I have. Let's see. Setup. Let me see if I can go into that. Options. I think you have to do something else. It's in the sequence that you have to do it under the guide. Under options, calibration, alarm. I gotta remember where it is. Let me see where it is. I haven't used it for a long time. I can't even remember where it is. I don't know if it's under sequence. But that's, I'd have to use Maxim more for that. Right here. See that? Oh, hang on a sec. I gotta see the chat. I'd have to go under this sequence, Don. And you see here my mount can do dither images via guider or by mount. I never use it. I don't need to use those two. That's okay if you're doing long exposure CCD imaging, but I don't bother with that. Anyways, sorry about that, everybody. I'll just show you the histogram. Okay, can you see the histogram right here? Hang on. Right there. We are overexposed, so let's take it down to about 15 seconds. Let's try it there. Because we're increased the gain at full. Okay, so that's the first one. You can see the split here. So we're going to be right here, so I'm going to back this one off to about here. Raise this one maybe, hard to grab that sometimes, to about 150. Let's see what happens there. Good night, Joe. Take care. So that's 15 seconds full gain, which is not too bad. Okay. See how that one goes. The nice thing about this camera is the exposures are very short. No, the stars are very nice at full gain. And you can see the gain here. This is the gain reading at 5. You couldn't do have AGC at 8 max and have stars looking like this. It just, something about the AGC you can't do. I don't know why with the video. You can't go as aggressive, but you can go really aggressive with the gain on this setup. It's rising, Jack. This object's rising. No, it's not a PhD thing, Curtis. I'm just backtracking. No, it's been out for it's been around for years. So let's put again. Not me, I wouldn't, but if I was using an Altaz, I probably would be around 4 or 5, about 80 to 100%. Now, if I'm with an HA filter, yeah, I'd probably bump the gain up even higher, Probably use it at about 4 to 5. Yeah, for sure. This is still low, Jack. Let me see. Right now, we're at 47 degrees altitude, so it is still pretty low. It's going to climb up. It's going to get higher and higher as time goes on, so it's still a pretty low one. Yeah, it's a good question, Don. I don't think it does really matter. True. That is true. Yeah, we don't really need to go any longer in exposure. I'll bump this up to about 120. It is very clean, yeah. I'll disengage the dark field correction. Okay, let's experiment here, Al. You were saying something about detail gets lost when you use the dark field correction, and I read it on another forum. I'm not going to mention any names and all that. We like to keep it nice and civil tonight, so I'll show you that we won't lose any detail as long as we know how to adjust the histogram. Okay, so I think I got the histogram fairly good. I'll wait for the next refresh. We might be a little bit. Let's go to 125. Okay, I'm going to get this big again here for you guys. Okay, that should help there. Oh, wait. All right, that way you'll at least see everything. All right. Now you can see the detail. There's the arm extending up here and down here quite nicely. Not bad for 15 seconds, full gain. Now keep a memory of this, okay? We're going to take the disable, and I think it kicked in just before the refresh came up. I turned it off. But anyways, let's let it refresh. So we're looking at half a minute, probably about another 20 seconds. I love the stars. They look awesome. Little bit of coma here because of camera tilt, but not too bad. Slight bit here. I think I got tilt on the bottom a bit. Okay, let me just look at the histogram. I can't even tell when it refreshes. I definitely agree it'd be nice with a counter, and it will be coming. Rock's got them working on it. Yeah, I think it already refreshed. Sure. Sure, Al, I can do that. Okay, let me I'll put this to about 165, which is going really bright in the background. This is still without dark frame, or dark field, sorry, correction. That's due to focus or tilt. Yeah, I'll have that fixed when I get the collimation ring. They are all now included with the VRC scopes, the 10 I believe, and I'm not sure about the 8, but the 10 they are. Jack can confirm everything, but I had this one for a couple of years, this scope, so I will be getting a focuser ring at AstroCats, and I'm dying to try it out. It should be nice, especially with the universe. Anyways, yeah, we got some good detail here. I really lighten the background for you, Al, so we can make this test fair. And you can see the warm pixels. I'll just leave it on for a few refreshes so you can get an idea. Yeah, that's good. It's good that it's being offered. While we're waiting, let's see our sky conditions. We got the lights going on. That's the top bedroom light. You can see the roof here. So that's a light on in the house in the bedroom. Clear. We are clear. Wind has calmed down, thank goodness. No, me neither. They're so tiny. Actually, even in color, they're going to be very tiny like this. They're not big like you see with the Extreme Exterminator for some reason. They are very much smaller. In my black and white Extreme Exterminator, they're not too bad also, but they're not as small as this. There they are there. Top arrow. There's a few of them. You can see them all over. Okay, so you got a good idea. That was a refresh, so I'm going to enable it, and I'm going to set the histogram similar so we can see the arm up here. Can you see that, guys? Guys and gals, just let me know if you can see that arm. Okay, now there is, thank you very much, thanks everybody. Now there, Al, is the field, dark field correction applied. I can see this arm perfectly. Actually, it looks to me even better because the contrast has improved a lot. I didn't even touch the histogram yet. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Now if I want to lighten it up, I think so too. The histogram didn't even hardly move. So I'll put it at about 60, and that should be equal to the other one. Now I'm going to wait for the next refresh because I lighten the background up, because the background was much lighter with the when it was off. Okay, so that's what I'm talking to you about, knowing how to adjust your histogram. So you or anybody cannot tell me that applying the dark field correction loses detail, clips the data. It does not. That's insane saying that. That they don't know how to adjust. So I adjusted the histogram proper, and you gotta admit, you can see the exact same detail as when it's on. And I'll do it again now. So I'm going to engage it, and I'm going to put that back, the number where I had it, at 65. Just put the histogram black. I raised the black back to where it was before, and we should have a pretty well same background brightness level almost, because I adjusted the background. There it is. So it has engaged. You can see all the pixels showing up. To me, I don't see any clipping of data. Do you guys? Let me know if you see the same amount of detail. It actually looks a little better because it's less noisy when it's engaged, and and it brings out the detail better, I think. I'm going to engage it again. Let's let this run through. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate the feedback. Yeah, it would be. Well, I can also improve that too, Al. I'm not touching the white point, so I can adjust that on the histogram too. If you think the central bulge looks better without it, I'll adjust it. Let me see. Okay, so that, I'm going to put it back on, bring this back to 60, and I'm going to lower this to get the center for Al and the rest. There you go. How's that? I don't know, that 30 seconds is flying by fast. That seemed like 15 seconds to me. That 30 seconds is going by pretty quick. You know, time flies when you're having fun, they say, right? I guess that's what's happening. Makes a big difference, though. Really cleans up the noise. I don't think any loss, Al. It depends on what, you know, everybody's eye sees the same. I see it the same. Don't forget, I see it better than you because I'm looking at a direct screen. Here I'm not looking at the NSN monitor. I'm looking at the Mellencamp Sky preview. Makes a big difference. Yeah. I do lose sharpness, definitely. A little bit. I'd say I'm losing about 15–20%. What's the numbers? 8.8 visual mag. Oh, this one. Okay. $8.8. I got it here. Let me see what it's saying here. Yeah, I got 9, magnitude 9. But this program's never the best. Hey Don, what's the number of the iris so I can, please, so I can put it up for later? I'm gonna try that filter Joe gave me. I really want to try that one. Thank you, sir. 7023. I just want to see how far off it is. Seven, 7:023. Okay. Okay. It's not far from where we are now, so we got lots of time for that one to swing around. If anybody goes to bed after, I can always post an image. I just want to try the filter later on tonight. That will be one of the last things I'll do.